What's better, direct mail efforts or online lead generation? If this is something you've been asking yourself, well, I hope this video is going to help you, because this is a question I actually had from a prospect just a few days ago while we were on a discovery call. And so I want to take you through the questions I asked and kind of get you into the thought process that me, as a marketing and lead generation expert, consultant, coach, goes through with clients and prospects in order to understand what is the best route. Okay, so direct mail versus online lead generation. Now, he told me that he was already sending direct mail and he was thinking of transitioning into online lead generation because he felt like it was too expensive. And so we started going over the numbers. Let's take them as a sample numbers. I was asking, how many pieces of letters or postcards are you sending each month? And he told me that it was about 10,000. Awesome. How much does a piece, postcard or letter, cost you? And let's say that it costs you 10 cents. Okay? So that means that for 10,000, you're paying $1,000 a month. Awesome, beautiful. Now, out of which, how many clients are you receiving? And he told me it was roughly about 5 or 6, so let's say 5 clients a month. So that means that the cost to acquire a client is $200 cost of acquisition. Okay, awesome, beautiful. Next question is, what's your average ticket? And let's say in this case, average ticket was $800. Okay, that's an average job. That's how much he was charging for his services. So $800 is your average ticket. And so that gives us a 4x ROAS. ROAS, return on ad spend, or return on investment, right? We're putting $2 in and we're getting $4 out. Now that's a beautiful margin. That's a beautiful return on investment when it comes to marketing efforts in the service space. And so with online, the questions you need to ask yourself, whether if you're working with a marketing agency, you can check it with them. Ideally, they're doing a good job. Or if you're doing it yourself, you need to know these numbers. And so the numbers is, let's say, what's the cost per click? Okay, if we're thinking about Google Ads, what's the cost per click? Let's say here is Google Ads. Now let's say in his industry, let's say it's plumbing. So the cost per click is $60 on average. $60 cost per click. And this is, again, those are just sample numbers. And so next up, we have what's the average conversion rate. Average conversion rate. Now, conversion rate is how many people clicked on our ads versus how many people actually reached out for a call. And so here, let's say that the average conversion rate is 10%. 10% conversion rate. Okay, so that means that it takes us $600 per lead. And from the leads, let's say that your closing rate is 80%. So let's say it's roughly, you're just breaking even cost to acquire customer. Okay, so we're here on the online lead generation because of the competition, because again, our conversion rate is pretty low. This is how much it gets us. Now, by the way, 10% for most service businesses, unfortunately, is above average. I have seen hundreds of plumbers, roofers, HVAC contractors, almost any industry. The average in the service industry, when they don't know what they're doing, is between 2 to 5%. And sometimes the cost per click, it gets into the $100 and $150 per click if you're in the US and some of the major provinces in Canada. So the cost per click is super high. The conversion rate is very low because either they're trying to figure it out by themselves or they're using a shitty marketing agency. And so here in the online lead generation example, you're like, oh my God, maybe my efforts here are better than I expected. Maybe I thought that online would be better, but I'm actually more profitable with the direct mail. And so these are the things that you need to ask yourself. Now, for a lot of these on the direct mail, he didn't even have the answer. I'm just giving you example. He was kind of thinking that he got like around 5 clients. He wasn't sure. You need to know your numbers. As a business owner, you have to know your numbers. What's my cost per acquisition? What's my average ticket? How much on average is a client worth to me? Because that way I know how much I can spend in order to gain them, for me to be profitable, right? So this is a simple example. Now, in this example, it's very clear that you wouldn't want to ditch and just completely leave out the direct mail and move over to online lead generation. But with that, what can you do? Well, what you can do is basically focus your efforts on retargeting. Okay? So basically you need to think about the fact that he only got 5 clients from 10,000, but he doesn't even know his open rate, how many people actually open his mail, how many people checked it. And so if you're adding just basically like something simple such as a QR code that leads them to your website, okay? Now, we're able to track it, how many people scanned it, right? So that's number one. And number two, if we know how to do marketing, now even the people who haven't reached out, let's say that out of the 10,000, let's say 200 actually visited our website. 200 QR visits. They went into our website, they checked our website, but they haven't reached out for whatever reason. Now, when we know how to run retargeting, well, now we're able to maybe double, maybe quadruple, or maybe get 10x more clients. Maybe instead of getting just 5 clients, we're able to get 50 clients from the retargeting, because now we're able to retarget those people that we know for a fact are interested in us, and we're able to show our ads over and over again. And that's the power of omnipresence, 360 marketing approach, however you want to call it. But basically you're trying to attack the client and the prospect from different angles, because it doesn't always require just one touch point in order for them to, give you a call or book an appointment or close. But they need to feel confident. They need to feel comfortable with you, that you're a trusted brand, that you're a trusted service provider. And so let's say they got that first postcard in their mail, then they went onto your website. Now they're seeing you on Facebook and Instagram. Next up, they're seeing you on YouTube. Now they feel like they know you, and next time they need a carpet cleaner, an HVAC repair, plumber, guess who they're gonna reach out to? So if you're trying to figure out whether direct mail is better for you or online lead generation, know your numbers. If you don't know your numbers, first of all, I have a few tools. I'm going to link them down below. The Google Ads calculator, if you're already running Google Ads, that will give you an idea of how much the acquisition costs you and whether, what's your conversion rate, all these different numbers. That's number one. And if you want to understand how you can get better results, how you can get into, multi, double digits let's say our average clients are getting 25% conversion rate with their Google ads, how to get better results with your online lead generation so it actually makes sense to run these marketing efforts online. Check what we do at Local Service Mastery. I'm gonna link a video after this. You're gonna see probably the outro, and there's gonna be a link underneath this video if you wanna understand more on how you can master lead generation yourself without ever depending on any marketing agency, anyone else, for the success of your business. So if it's relevant for you, feel free to check it out. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you here in the next one. Peace.